to Big Brother Basics, where we break down the basics of Big Brother 16. My name is Jacob Harple, and joining with me, as always, he's got 5 personalities, and I love all of them. Keith Guerrero. How are you doing today, Keith?
Every personality sucks.
And also with me, the one and only, his favorite dessert is apple pie, and he loves the hell out of the bald eagle. Erine Nunley, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. And thank you for telling everybody about my association with Team America.
Oh, of course. So we've got so much to cover. We've got the second Veto episode and second Eviction. So let's just go right into it. You just mentioned Team America, so let's just start there. We finally have the two members, the 2 other members revealed. We've got Derek, we've got Frankie. Joey is out of the picture. Who is Joey? I don't remember her. It's always been these 3 members of Team America, and that's what they're going with. So I guess my first question is how do you guys feel about Derek and Frankie joining the team?
I just want to say I remember Joey because she's still in the intro, so like if you try to forget her, she's still there in color.
They haven't edited her out like they did with the House meeting.
I mean, it's cool to see America likes people that I like, you know?
I don't know. It's a good combination, but I don't know. When I was watching, like, I really like Derek, and when I saw him opening that envelope, I was having, like, flashbacks to when Eric Stein was, you know, becoming America's player. Like, I'm really nervous. I really like Derek, and I really like Donnie. Frankie, I'm really on the fence with, and we'll kind of go into that later, but I don't know. It's 3 interesting players that I think have the potential to really work well together, and I'm interested to see what exactly these tasks will be. I don't know. What do you think, Keith?
The tasks... Well, the first task is irrelevant. Basically, they're just talking. That's the task. They just have to talk.
It's the easiest $5,000 I've ever heard.
That they'll ever get, yeah. So it doesn't matter if we text A or B. They're going to get $5,000.
Yeah.
But for the players themselves, I am a little disappointed that it's an all-men's Team America. I wish there was a woman in there just to balance it out and make it a little more interesting, because I already see like a brigade of bros with the bomb squad. So yeah. I would like to see some female involvement, but that's also the editor's fault for not giving the girls a good enough edit to receive votes.
That's an interesting point.
And then for Derek specifically, I feel like it'll be the worst for his game because he doesn't need Team America to be good in the Big Brother house. And now it seems like Team America is a high priority for him. Like I remember he said in one of the episodes that he wants Team America, like it's a really big thing he wants to accomplish inside the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm just nervous if that's his like main thing to impress America, that it'll definitely affect his game. Sure, Donnie will do the same thing in wanting to impress America, but I think he could like falter, like the whole bald eagle and apple pie, how obvious that was. Like he'll get caught.
Here, let me show you this cup that has a bald eagle on it.
Yeah, and what's on the back of the quarter? What's on the back of the quarter is a bald eagle, okay? But so he'll be a mess. I think that Frankie will have no problem if it goes against his game to not do the mission, which I'm fine with. I think that'll be great for Frankie, but I'm very nervous for Derek. I feel like it's a bad thing that he was chosen as a person on Team America.
I agree. And I think a big fear about Team America is that, you know, at least with America's player, with the Saboteur, it's like, it's just you. With 3 members being in Team America, that really kind of instills some fear of like, well, either one of these guys can totally blow up this, like if they're walking out the door, and it could really hurt my game. So it's kind of like you're forcing these people to work together. Because if Derek at one point wants to get Frankie out, and Frankie's about to walk out the door, and he's just like, oh, by the way, we're a part of this team, and Derek has already earned $20,000, just letting you guys know right before he leaves. Like, that's a really big fear for any of these 3. So we'll see what happens, but let's go ahead and keep going. So Devin's target at the beginning of the week, we don't know how many times this might have flipped throughout the week, was Brittany. And I guess it was just the way the show made it look like it was just because of her comment at the I guess the nomination, or no, at the House meeting.
Yeah, which it definitely was.
Yeah, but I think it's just personality clashes. Let me just say, Brittany, I think, had a fantastic week.
She looked like flawless in the episode.
Yeah. But I think Brittany's done a really good job of socializing with different people, and so I can't remember who said it exactly, but it was the people. Oh no, it was the group of Bomb Squad members in the Beehive where they're talking about they don't want to get rid of Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's interesting to see this this kind of divide. We have who would we put in the rebellious Bomb Squad side? We know we've got,
but it's not even a divide though.
That's a good
point. It's Devin trying to throw out what everybody should be doing. We need to work together, but we're going to work together to get my agenda done, and you need to be on my same page because we're in an alliance together.
I love how during the Caleb and Devin fight, there, Caleb's accusing Devin of, oh, you want to get Brittany out for personal reasons. And yeah, I believe that Brittany is a stronger threat than Paola, but then Devin denies it for personal reasons. And then I think either later in that episode or in the Eviction episode, he straight out admits to wanting her out for personal reasons. And
yeah,
so
it started off none, and then it was like it's 50 personal, 50 strategic, and then it's just all personal.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the Caleb-Devin collision? I
liked it. But that's also how friendships are made. They have to weather the storm. I'm surprised, actually, that the Bomb Squad wasn't dissolved then. Like, I expected them both as hotheads to just expose everyone in their alliance and just air out everyone's dirty laundry. But I'm surprised Devin hasn't done that yet. That's the one thing I think Devin would do. Like, he would be the person to just list it to everyone because he's all about house meetings and, like, being true and honorable. So, I don't know. I thought it would be... I'm surprised that didn't happen. And I hope it does happen soon.
But they already have. I just don't think in the episode.
Yeah, I'm going based off the episode because that's all I know.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure Devin's already, like, blabbed it to people
also,
before the eviction.
I had a comment about Brittany earlier because I don't know if I missed it, but was there ever like a have-not delegation? Because I didn't see it in the episodes. But I think that Brittany was like a have-not.
Yeah, Brittany was. Oh man, I'm trying to remember. I know Brittany was a have-not. I think Zach. Yeah, Zach was definitely a have-not. Those are the two I know for sure. I think there was one more, but I can't remember.
Was it just chosen by Devin, and they just...
Yeah, I think that's what they're just doing this season, is that the HOH just gets to pick who the have-nots.
I'm surprised they didn't even air it, though. That's what I found interesting.
Because they don't have time. They have too much
other stuff to talk about?
Yeah.
But it sounded personal. If he nominated Brittany and Zach, man, air that! I want to see it.
I know, right? Like, that's such a big part, I think, of the rising tension between Zach and Devin. Which I guess we should go ahead and just go right into. So, basically, after the Caleb and Devin fight, which was hilarious, by the way, like, watching that on the live feeds is really funny because they're talking about this stuff, and it's obvious, like, these people are in an alliance, and freaking Jacosta's, like, doing her laundry, like, right outside in the yard, just, like... And the best part is they didn't even edit her in or have like a DR thing. So it's just an example of how freaking clueless this girl is. And she's doing like her laundry and like there's like this giant alliance like argument going on and she's just completely irrelevant.
Seriously, she and Victoria got the only airtime they hit was when they had the cast for Eviction. Like they literally weren't. Who are you? You were in the house. What do you do here?
At least Jocasta voted against the majority. So Victoria's the biggest like person that can leave. Like she's so extra she can go. But at least Jocasta voted to keep Paola because they were friends.
That's true. So yeah, sorry, went a little bit off topic here, but I wanna. So we'll go into the Zach and Devin thing now. So basically, Caleb and Devin, they have this talk, they make up. Caleb reveals to Devin that a lot of people want Brittany to stay, and that some people are really upset with Devin and the way that he's playing this game, and they want him out. So basically, Devin does what he does best and just calls a meeting because, that's just how you fix these kind of problems. one house meeting wasn't enough. He's got to have a big alliance meeting next, and this is where the editing gets a little weird, because it makes it look like Zach's in trouble because he says that he wants to get Brittany out, or he wants to keep Brittany in the house. Now, I know that they're painting Devin as this big bad villain, but I thought this was kind of a stupid move on Zach's part. What do you guys think?
I agree. I mean, that doesn't make any sense what Zach did. Like, it just was bad Big Brother gameplay. I understand his logic in trying to be upfront and trying to be a voice of reason with Devin. That's kind of counter to what Devin's thinking. But you can't do that to Devin. You just have to choose your battles. You just literally can't. And Frankie was so right when he pulled Zach aside. He's like, "Why are you telling the truth? Why are you telling the truth?" It doesn't make sense to do that, especially to Devin, who can't handle the truth. He literally is someone that cannot handle the truth. You have to tell him what he wants to hear. Otherwise, it'll be a huge mess.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just, and I don't know if I've said it on the show, but I've definitely said it to some people. It's Zach's biggest problem in this game is his mouth. Even on the feeds, it's blah, 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 blah. He's always speaking a million miles a minute. And, it's just that's what, at the end of the day, that's what got him in trouble. He said something that he thought he should have said, and he shouldn't have said it. You know how this guy is playing the game. Devin's fucking crazy. You've been telling that to everyone in your, alliance. So when you say that you want to keep the person that he wants out, and then you also admit to talking shit about him, then it's just kind of you have to see that coming,
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little disappointing because I do really, really like Zach, but I think they're just bits and pieces of his game that he doesn't really think about, and that's ultimately what's going to get him evicted later in the game.
Can I talk real quick about how I saw Devin's justification in removing Brittany and nominating Zach?
Yes,
oh my god.
Okay, so here's the thought process that I have. So all of a sudden, Big Brother didn't become this competition based on relationships. It became a financial needs based way of earning money. So there is merit-based and there is financial-based. This used to be a merit-based competition for Devin, hence why he was going after Brittany because he didn't like her. But then after hearing that she has three children, a single mother, he can't be the person to make her not receive that money. So he transformed from a merit-based to a needs-based. When he asked Paula the reason why she should stay, she started doing modeling poses. And granted, they were fierce, and I would probably do the same thing. But that's just very, it just kind of proves that she doesn't need this money. She's in a good spot. She's young. She can do a lot with her life. Zach, on the other hand, just graduated from college. He's in the same boat. He's very privileged in the sense that he's if you want to nominate me, go ahead and nominate me. He's not grasping at straws for staying in the game, whereas Brittany's I really need to stay here. So Devin switched from a merit-based to a financially-based model of thinking, and he removed Brittany, who financially needed this money, as opposed to the merit whole thing. And that's why he even went against his own alliance, because the whole merit thing's out the window. So, Zach, you don't need the money, you're going to be nominated, and that's how I see how he made his decision this week.
I was really confused because the way they painted it in the show is just oh, Zach, he wants Brittany to stay. I got to get him out. So I'm going to use the veto on Brittany.
Right!
But even that, it's that makes, he's crazy, we know this, but that makes him seem stupid. He just, train of thought is just, so, it just changes, second to second, because that wouldn't make any sense to just, if you were mad, if you wanted Brittany to go, and you were mad at Zach, you would veto Paula and put Zach next to Brittany. Therefore, you get out one of the people that you want out. That's why I'm what? Y'all, the editors, y'all are messing up. Y'all are messing up this season. Y'all are editing people out of things way more than you're supposed to. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's just I can't. Obviously, I feel like Zach was in the wrong this week. Like, Zach's getting a huge following now, and I think he's still a likable guy, but there's a difference between someone being likable and someone being a good player. And I agree that Zach is likable, but I don't think he's a very good player. And then, of course, Devin's in the wrong as well, just because Devin's an idiot. Like, you don't put up your own alliance member without, like, addressing the entire alliance. And I can't remember if he ever did on the feeds, but you can't do that. Week 2, your big thing is we got to stick together. We got to stick together.
But
like,
that thought never crossed his mind. He's the one that wanted it, so, like, I'm just going to have to nominate him because that's what he wants to do.
All right, I'm being real with you. Right now. I don't trust you. Yeah.
Can we go into the veto competition now? Because, like, 5 seconds into it, or not even into it, Devin, does his little pop, I win the veto, I'm taking my block. I'm like, no, like, I laughed there, because I'm like, here we go again, like, here we go. Promise this person this, promise this person that, say this, change your mind here, go this way. Like, I'm so done, Devin. Not only that, but, like, right when they open the door, Caleb comes out with his t-shirt,
yes.
with it open. I was like, you're not even, what are you doing? Like,
button your shirt! What's wrong with you?
You were literally an audience member. Button your shirt and sit down. Like, this season, I can't handle these people.
Another thing that I liked about Zach being nominated was that he had an opportunity to win veto. So I felt like he had his chance, to be safe. And he didn't lose, and he lost it. So I felt like it was fair in that sense that Zach got on the block. But still, the whole logic behind it, I agree. He should have vetoed Paola for a strategic standpoint and get rid of Brittany or Zach. And that would guarantee that Brittany goes home and he would get what he wants because they're not going to vote out his own alliance member. But I don't know. He really just talked with Brittany, and that whole parent thing just changed his mind when, I mentioned that week 1. Like, it was not a surprise that y'all are parents. But you were just pissed off over some lotion in the kitchen. You want to nominate her. So, I don't know, Devin.
But she worked him.
It was just like, if you're going to make a move against someone in your alliance, you have to make sure you have the votes. And, like, Devin did do that. Like, but it's just like, just because you walk up to someone and you go, hey, would you vote this way? And they say yes. Like, you have to understand, like, the way that Devin goes about, like, convincing people to do things is just awful. Like, he tries to strong-arm someone in everything. Like, everything he does, he's strong-arming someone. So, I guess you can't blame him too much because he truly felt like he had the votes to put up Zach. But, I don't know. I think Devin's move this week should have been, if you don't want to bring you out, that's fine. You have a change of heart, that's fine. Use the veto on Brittany. Put up Victoria. Put up Jocasta. Get out a floater like you said you were going to do when you initially made this alliance. But just, I don't know. He took a leap of faith and he just, like, dived down a cliff. Like, he is on his way down.
He needs to learn to have a poker face. To not let people know how what they say to him or about him affects him. Because that's how people are reacting to stuff. Like, whenever he gets all angry or, like, going up to the HOH room and pacing after his little beef with Caleb. Like, he just has no poker face. He'd be so much better if he had a poker face than shows emotion so much, but I guess his daughter...
and his mama.
Can we talk about the little conversation he had with Hayden in the veto meeting, or the veto episode? Not the one in the eviction episode. Basically, where he tells, like, and like this really hurt Paolo too. I think when he has the conversation with Paolo, and he's like, oh, don't worry, bro. Like, Paula, you were never going home. We had Paula. She threw the competition. Now you won out the block, and now we're gonna get Brittany out. And I'm just kind of like, and Paula's just like sitting there looking.
I could have won that competition if I wanted to. Like,
I was just like, you're really not helping yourself. And I guess it's because she thinks that Devin's using the veto, but that's before the veto competition. So, like, I think Paula's biggest mistake this week was believing Devin.
She doesn't know what her biggest mistake was.
She's got too many mistakes. We gotta go back. We gotta go back to the beginning. Her her biggest mistake was she said yes when they asked her if she wants to go on Big Brother. That's what Paolo went wrong.
I'm gonna miss Pow Pow in the DR though, because she always like screams and she's like, "Well, in this competition, it was really hard. Like I can't put these balls anywhere. It's really, really difficult."
I am a little grateful that she left though, because I think Paula was like falling into the Pawn Star role, and now that she's gone, we're going to see some more interesting nominations. We're not just going to see Paula go up on the block every week.
Speaking of Paula, can we just talk about how El Cuatro is now Dos Locos, and there's absolutely no loyalty whatsoever? Joey going out by unanimous decision, and Paula leaving right after that. That was absolutely fantastic.
And now we've got Amber and Nicole, who couldn't be on more, like...
opposite sides of the house.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah, so...
And then they wonder why... Okay, but the first is what's great, though, is that Joey and Pow Pow came into the game wanting to do an all-girls alliance, and they're the first two evicted. That's just how Big Brother works. I mean...
It's also interesting. We've got 9 recruits, first 2 evictions, 2 recruits. Do we think that's a coincidence?
Not at all.
I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And if Devin does go this week, then that'll be the 3rd consecutive week that a recruit has gone home.
Recruit alliance.
Send them home. Send them home, Julie.
Sinking ship. Okay, so let's talk about it. The big event. We didn't really get to see much of it until the eviction episode, but veto meeting. Now, it was funny, like, they promoted this as, like, this huge blow-up, but it was actually pretty organized, if you ask me.
Yeah.
They were, like, raising their hands and having a structured, like, conversation.
I will be next after you, Brittany. Like,
yeah, they're all, like, picking numbers. They have the receipts ready. It's like, ooh, I think I'm next. Like, I wanted fight night. I wanted, like, Shima versus Russell. I just wanted, like, 3 different fights going on at the same time.
Someone, Jocasta crying in the back, like, I need everything.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I was a little disappointed. Like, I was, or maybe it was just because it got built up so much.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the way that the veto episode ended. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I had higher expectations for Brittany. I thought she was going to go guns blazing. But she was, like, just, like, re-explaining herself. I was like, girl, you already said that. Like, you done your part.
But she didn't want anybody to, misinterpret what she meant. She said, the reason I said what I said is because you threw a competition, and now you were on my radar. Thank you. Sits down and dress.
Maybe Brittany's just so used to talking to her 3 kids, she really feels like she has to spell everything out for these house guests.
You have to spell it out for some of them.
Yeah, you really do. Who, out of the 3, who do you think had the best blow-up?
I don't know. And you know why I'm disappointed in the veto meeting? It's because Devin didn't pop off. Like, they were throwing so much at him, and he just was like, okay, all right. No, Devin, you're so big and angry. Like, come back. I want you and Zach yelling at each other face to face, like you said, Shima and Russell, like, in her face. But there was nothing.
Yeah, because, like, I remember Zach was going off on Devin for, like, a hot minute. And then he was like, what do you have to say, Devin? And Devin was like, good luck. That's it.
Touche then.
Like, what else?
Yeah, I really don't know what you say if you're Devin at that point. Like, do you feel like it was best for him to just kind of, like, not say anything? Or,
yeah, I mean,
I don't know. He's usually got a big mouth, so it's surprising to see him keep silent.
He's silent in groups like that, like a big group.
Well, I was not surprised in Devin's demeanor because if it's an obvious confrontation, then he knows how to handle himself. But if it's, like, a subtle, like, timid conversation, then he blows it out of proportion. So he was probably excited, and honestly, with him being HOH and POV, he played it right. He didn't, like, be too overly aggressive because he already got what he wanted, which is Pow Pow and Zach on the block. Congratulations, you accomplished nothing this week.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really have any remorse for him because, first of all, he promised both nominees that he's using the veto on
Mistake!
You promised Pow Pow 100% she's not going anywhere.
Mistake!
And then you blow up your alliance to people when you find out that one little vote isn't going your way.
You named your alliance Bomb Squad. Mistake!
These people are fucking ask him for it. And yeah, and going into the eviction episode, you know, how you guys like Julie's pun? It's just like, Julie, where were you 2 weeks ago? This is old news. Like, this pun, already so overused.
Can we rewind to last week's house meeting where Devin was crying and telling everybody he's playing an honest game? And then you flash forward to him saying, I'm going to save you. I'm going to save you with the veto, too. It's like...
You know, let's be fair with Devin. He might not know the restrictions of the veto. He might have thought it was like a coup d'etat or something.
So I can't use on both of them? Y'all didn't tell me before the competition started.
Oh my gosh.
I also I commented this to Keith, I like that both Brittany and Pow Pow, the original nominees for the week, use Devin and the word devil, calling him the devil in their DRs 2 different times during the week. I was like, wow, very Danielle Reyes.
I know,
to Roddy here.
I like it. Well, it's too bad neither one of them knows who those people are. So anyway, veto meeting happens, and Zach kind of goes after Frankie a little bit. Now, what do you guys think about that? Are we seeing a hashtag Zanky fallout?
Okay, can I start off by saying, stop it, CBS. Just stop it with those hashtags, because it's... And the sad thing is they're actually happening, because I saw while it was going on that Zanky fallout was on Twitter. I was like, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to have some mind with yourself. Like, make up your own hashtag. Hashtag Jocasta and the Lord. Like, hashtag something, but don't be falling for Big Brother's hashtag. Anywho, I know that the Frankie Zach fallout, it didn't really show everything that was going down because I was very confused. I've heard from on the feeds that it wasn't just that, or Frankie did something too, or I don't even know.
There's a lot more layers to it.
Yeah, but they just made it seem like that one thing that Zach said set Frankie off, and he's crying, and my whole game is ruined, and boo-hoo, Ariana Grande.
I don't know. After watching this episode and how Frankie is, like, approaching Zach, like, in his time of need, I'm very just kind of, like, dismissive of Frankie as a house guest. Like, if I were in the house, I'd be, like, if you're trying to cover your tracks that much where, like, somebody can't just say something that could or could not be true and you just get mad at them, like, I don't want to work with you. Like, that's ridiculous. So I don't know. I would prefer, I don't know. Frankie kind of irritated me this episode.
Frankie got lucky because they cut out a lot that I think made him not very favorable for a lot of, I guess, live feedsters. Like, Frankie was actually kind of campaigning for Zach to go the moment Zach admitted that he wanted Devin out to Devin. Like, I feel like Frankie, like, as weird as it is to say, I think his biggest allegiance is with Caleb and Amber and Devin. I
mean, I see that completely.
So, like, that's why, and I think that's what led to Zach calling him out a little bit, because they're supposed to, Zach and Frankie had a final 2 deal.
Yeah.
And so for him to be so unsure of how he was voting, I think really hurt Zach a lot. And I wasn't sure if it was just CBS, either they're just short time or they're trying to help Frankie a little bit with the edits. He's on Team America.
Yeah, they're not gonna show anything that's gonna damage Donnie, Derek, or Frankie too much to America.
So I don't know. Yeah, Frankie, here's the thing about Frankie's game. I feel like he's trying to play a lot of angles, but his problem is I think he's just a little bit too aggressive and just too look at me, look at me, look at me. And he's got a really big spotlight. And I think his biggest meat shields are Caleb and Devin. And if everything goes according to plan, I think it's safe to say that one of those meat shields are probably leaving this week. And I don't think Caleb's going to be too far behind him. And so then it's just, I don't know, Frankie's already kind of lost a lot of trust with some really key groups in the house, and that's really going to hurt him late game.
Good. He deserves it. He needs to be put on the hot seat because, like, it just frustrates me. And then, like, for Frankie to be the person to tell Devin that Zach's going to stay made me, like, dislike Frankie even more.
Would you say that Frankie is trying to play the game that Derek is playing?
Yeah. Definitely. Derek is playing the game. He's making conversations hot, but he's not taking ownership of the conversations, and he's making people think that they took ownership of the decision, aka Caleb wanting to keep Zach. That was very excellent on Derek's behalf.
So basically, this whole blow up happens, and Zach and Paolo get into a big fight outside, and they had that weird DR cut with Derek saying that he doesn't know if he wants Zach to stay, and I don't understand that was a really weird edit for me because it sounds like Zach was just calling Paolo out for throwing the competition, which wouldn't you think that's a good thing to do, or do you think that like that information's already out? There's really no reason to try and blow everything up because it makes him look unstable.
I don't think it was needed, but I do. Like, you know how CBS is. Even when you know who's going home, like, we all knew Joey's going home. They try to throw in a little bit of, like, but maybe Paolo's going home this week. So they have to throw something in there to, like, be like, ooh. That was their ooh.
And for me, it worked, because I was uncertain if Pal or Zach was going home, especially with that 2-2 vote. I was like, oh, I don't know who's going to go home.